Liz, you got a pencil or something?
That is ridiculous.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call it December 16th Range Board meeting to order.
Coming the wrong seat.
Thanks for everyone coming out so early. Ms. Liz, Mr. Turner is the only commissioner absent. All right, by that, we'll, Mr. Ron, would you give the invocation followed by the pledge?
Yes. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and this afternoon. And we want to start off in a prayer of reverence to the families of our fellow employees, Don Heisel and also Joe Anderson. Please be with their families in this time of sorrow and this holiday season. And we ask for your protection through the holidays and keep everyone safe. And prayers of success in the team coming in, the new administration, but also thanks of prayer for the commissioners that are on their way out, and thank them for their services that they have given the residents over the past seasons. So in this, we ask in your name to keep everyone safe through this holiday season. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ron. With that, anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with Ms. Liz. It will be, with that, we are,
You got Aaron Lawler.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Aaron Lawler's out also, so that's two.
Just to make a mention, Commissioner Lawler's in-laws' house was hit by a tornado this afternoon, and his in-laws have been taken to a shelter. So I think that he was headed in that direction.
Yeah, we'll keep him in the prayer. Okay, with that, number 4, the acceptance of the minutes for the November 18th.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dodd, second by Mr. Benny Johnson. All right, on the chair's report, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Terry. She's going to give a
Yeah, thank you.
blackout.
Thank you very
Thank
much, Dempsey. Last week, when we honored our outgoing councilman, Councilman Dawson was unable to be with us, and so I wanted him to join the parish president and me down front, and we're going to give him his plaque tonight. So thank you very much, and I appreciate the time.
Can I leave the meeting after this?
I ain't gonna do it. I'm chicken, I'm scared. I ain't.
What's that?
I was doing this behind.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't. I ain't got no peace with me tonight.
We ain't got no photographers here tonight.
No photography? Oh, yeah.
Come back here, we're gonna,
Use a cell phone. Cinnamon got one.
I can get you.
Cinnamon will do
come
it.
here, Terry, let's do it
Cinnamon guy.
right here. Come on, Bill. Come in the middle here, so you can have all the good looking people.
Hey, no bad faces.
We're just gonna hold up. Hold the
No strange gestures or any of that.
Bill,
Don't sit down, Randy.
Oh, I'm
You got
not.
enough?
I'm very good at remembering that. Wild Bill from Dawsonville.
Mine's got a diamond for you. Don't give the diamond back around.
No, that's special.
you're special.
Just FYI, everybody else gave a few, had a statement after they sat
They
back
did,
there.
I'm glad to hear that.
So- You were welcome to make comments.
I tell you what, I'm gonna pass, but I do appreciate the honor.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. All right, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
With that, we'll, no chairman's report. We'll move on to number 6, Mr. Joey, drainage report.
Good evening, council. The Lake Park subdivision plans are nearing completion. We expect one more meeting where the plans are almost totally complete, but we're very close to having final plans to where we could put that Lake Park subdivision drainage improvement out for bid. Wallace Acres had that gas line in the way. That project's been on hold for a while, and they tell me at about the end of the year, they'll be finished with the gas line relocation. So hopefully around mid-January, we should be back and working with the contractor, with the construction contractor on board, on site. I was told the Laurel Ridge Levee Extension, the PLD is having a meeting tonight, and that's for them to approve the beginning of the land acquisition on the Laurel Ridge Levee. Pelican Point Parkway, I had a meeting December 4th with the HOA, just to inform them of the project, and just answered their questions, and I think they were fine with everything. We did have a contractor present at that meeting, 3 HOA representatives, and 3 additional residents, including the one who lives on site. You know, there's one resident that was in the project limits, and he was there. So, you know, and I also told them that if they had complaints and all, that I would be the point of contact. So we shared numbers and all that. So that one should be good to go.
Did you give them Ron's number?
And that's it. What I got. Any questions?
Mr. Dawson,
I don't have anything.
Mr. Sadler,
I'm good.
Mr. Gluck.
Yeah, real quick, Joey, on the Laurel Ridge Levee Extension, I'd like Mr. Cheyenne to come up. I understand that they had a vote last Thursday night at the PLD. And was that committee, and now it's going to the
That is correct. That was the.
going to the full board?
That was the Finance Committee. Tonight's the full board to ratify last week's vote.
Thank you, sir, for y'all continuing on, and just let the people in the lake area and from Gold Place on down that start looking for land acquisition on that project.
Ms. Terry.
Yes, and maybe, Glenn, you could also give an update on the Alligator Bayou project, Fish Bayou project. The latest email I got said you have 30% plans. So.
That's correct. We just submitted the 30% plans, I think, Thursday or Friday. And so we're continuing to work on those, and hopefully, I don't remember what the timeline, Terry, what's the next timeline? Delivery date is? Yeah. Oh, actually, it's February. I think February 2020 is the 90% plans.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate your continued work on that.
Mr. Todd.
I'm good. Other than take this moment to thank pretty much all the staff and Joey, Ryan, Mr. Daniels, all the staff in the drainage department did an excellent job the last 20 years that I've been on board, and it's been a pleasure being a part of you guys. Thank you for your service too.
Mr. John.
I'll just echo what Todd said. It's been a pleasure to work with y'all, and I look forward to the next 4 years. Thank you.
Mr. Ben, good. Thanks a lot, Joe. Ron, you up?
Not a whole lot's changed, Dempsey, since last meeting. A lot of holiday stuff, vacation going on, so things are pretty much the same course they were a couple weeks ago, the last meeting. But I did want to take the opportunity again, thank you guys, all commissioners that are on their way out. And it's been an honor working with you guys. Anytime we needed to call you guys for something, you all were there. Participation was always there, and devotion's always there. So it's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move on to number 7, approval to enter into a contract with GSA. Mr. William Daniel.
Chairman and members, The board voted to be against the application of East Baton Rouge at the Bond Commission until we had a chance to study it. The Corps of Engineers has delivered the models to Glenn, and so what we wanted to do was give him a small contract so that he would be able to study this. I will say for the record that the Bond Commission passed the application of East Baton Rouge Parish. However, Glenn and I have both talked to Fred Rayford, and Fred said he will absolutely not move forward on any project until we have a chance to study it, and if it is found to be detrimental, then he'll do something different. So this is an opportunity for us to study it and see what's going on with the model that we have.
Motion?
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Clewett,
Second.
second by Ms. Terry. Any discussion?
Real quick, what you think's the time frame to be able to review it and come back with some decent overview of the impact on Ascension Parish? And of course, that's our main focus.
We've got 45 days in our proposals, what we asked for.
Okay,
So we'll be back sometime right after the first of the year.
good deal. Thank you, sir.
Any opposition to the motion? Not. Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, could I take this opportunity to, everybody else has taken an opportunity to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank, first of all, I'd like to thank the Drainage Board for their patience as we worked hard to provide drainage solutions to people in Ascension Parish. And I'd also like to thank the staff, Joey and Ron and everybody else included. They were very patient with me. When I came from East Baton Rouge Parish, I didn't know a whole lot about drainage other than, it had to go down a ditch somewhere. So it's been a great learning experience for me as well. These guys are incredibly knowledgeable. Brag on Ron for just 1 second. I would say, what about this? Oh, that ditch goes here, it drains into there, it drains into there. So, I mean, it's just sort of talking to Ron is like talking to somebody with encyclopedic knowledge of drainage in the parish. So the parish is very, very lucky to have Ron, and I think he's going to do a great job for, he's young, so he'll be around a while. So y'all should, I'm going to be like Joe Burrow. You need to give him a contract for life.
Appreciate you with that, William.
Make that motion if you need a motion.
Yeah, we already got
Y'all
a
got a motion?
motion, second, and no discussion,
Is that
so we
for a lifetime contract?
no, we didn't go that forward.
Ron Salvoy.
All right, number 8, this is an approval of a task order with Myers Engineers, Mr. Ron.
This is the project we brought to you guys last meeting and sort of went over the layout of the things we needed to look at. This is a proposal to do so, and we're asking for
So
approval.
moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Todd, second by Mr. Johnny. Discussion, Mr. Bill.
Let me ask you this. Tell me, I don't know, I'm sure I've seen it before, maybe I've forgotten about it, but, we did all this watershed study, actually HNTB did all that in Bayou Conway, Bayou Boyle area. So tell me what this is.
This is actually a area it's not Boyle Bayou, it's the lateral ditch that drains from Highway 30 and 44. That ditch drains into Boyle Bayou right behind Southwood subdivision. And this particular problem was not, a project didn't result out of that model, but there's more than just the Conway and Boyle Bayou Basin as a factor there. It's the Clouat Ditch and Bayou Francois as well.
So is this part of this, is you trying to take the water out of the Clouat ditch and get that into the pump system? Or tell me what's the purpose of this?
The identifying of the problem is, or the source of the problem is, we're trying to keep the Conway and Boyle Bayou water in its own watershed and the Clouat watershed in its watershed. Right now, Boyle Bayou is currently overtopping in a backwater event into the Clouat and going into the pump system. And it's overloading the Clouat ditch from the extent of where it originates all the way downstream to Brittany Street and the low end where it turns backwards. So, you know, this is just a thought and a theory, but I really think that that's the source of the problem, is the water that is currently going into the Kluwat Ditches Basin, which it should not be. And if we cut that off and divide the two watersheds and isolate them, then I really think you'd have control over the Hodgson and Kluwat water
Yeah.
going over the road, and the whole Southwood Village and that whole intersection that has the sandbag right there. It's a potential to solve that problem and also help all the people that have to drive through those waters when those problems
When you
arise.
have some houses that flood there.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
if not multiple times.
And so are we using, I'm wondering, are we using the data that HNTB had in that watershed? Is that something useful or we're not?
We've already given them, I did not give them a copy of that model, but I'm sure we can get that to them. But I gave them previous studies that were done by multiple firms. I gave them all of that data to come up with this proposal. So we certainly can give them access to that data.
Thank you. Ron?
All right, any other discussion on it? Any opposition to it? Motion passed. Number 9 is the approval to submit for the following grants. Mr. William.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. These were grants that were due shortly, but the state has, again, revised the timeline. So it's now not going to be due till January the 19th? 17th? So they're not due now till January 17th. So in all, we had actually filled out the, all of these projects for, it's a pre-application, but since they're not due now, maybe the next administration might want to reprioritize how these go. So probably just pull these from the agenda and let the next administration decide that.
So what, are you proposing that tonight to take them off? Or?
Pass.
Well, I'm just saying that the pre-application is not due until January 17th. So the applications are filled out, they're ready to go. We can just see who wants to turn them in, or if they want to turn these in.
But
or
everything, there's no
others.
more work that needs to be done on any of
No.
these?
No,
Let's move forward.
well, we were going to call in Martha's here. We're going to call in the technical assistance team from the state to go over our pre-applications to see if they had some suggestions on whether we should word something differently or not. But we just wait until the first of the year to do that.
But I know like in the Sorrento Reservoir enlargement, didn't they come back and ask us for some more detailed engineering on that?
Well, that was for the FEMA proposal, and one of the things that they wanted to do in their application process was to piggyback on already existing grants. That was something that they wanted to do for efficiency's sake. But again, these were just pre-apps, and we turned them in and see if we got any traction with them. They were going to look at them and tell us which ones, well, you can move forward with this one, you can move forward with that one, and then we could have gone to the application process. But again, it's not due
Well, I
till.
mean, myself, I would say don't stop the work that we've
Right.
done,
That's-
and, if they want it, when they come in, when they take office in January, then they can
No,
take
they're-
that at that
They're all
point.
filled out, they're all
Yeah.
filled out, ready to go, Councilman. I'm just saying that
Make that
they
motion.
might be reprioritized in the
Uh-huh,
future.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
You have the motion, you got the second. We have a motion by Mr. Kluwat, second by Mr. Todd.
To move forward.
Let's move forward.
Discussion, Mr. Kluwat?
Yeah, real quick we've spent a lot of time on this, sending it forth and I'm kind of like Bill, so is there any value to wait until after the first of the year?
Well, we're going to move forward, Councilman, but all the pre-applications are done. They were ready to be turned in by the end of the week, so.
I mean, who's to know that 6 months to a year down the road, because these things are years down the road, I believe, on this initiative. I don't think there's a clear path yet, but who's to say that the date that the pre-app was turned in might turn into a valued consonant, and who gets what?
We can,
I appreciate that.
we'll do that.
All right, we
We'll
have a
turn 'em in.
motion, second. Any other discussion? Any opposition? Not, Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, before we adjourn, I also wanted to, Miss Martha, her and I go way back, probably, I started in 96 and she was on board then, and she's been easy to work with and been a plus to the parish, so thank you for you. 29, I ain't gonna say her age. And also Tommy's former parish president, started back with him in 96, so appreciate you guys and wish y'all many more years. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, Don. With that, Mr. Sadler, you gonna?
Quick note,
Second.
real quick.
We heard that before.
I knew Randy would do that before I had a chance
I
to say real
definitely
quick.
want to thank Ron and all the DPW crew, and I know almost all the guys, they're not here, and everybody, and the ladies, Liz, you know, through multiple different organizations. You know, Martha, you've already talked about, I'm not going to exclaim on how long you've been around, but, you know, there's been a lot of good work done within the past decade and a half, okay? And it's been based on y'all diligence towards staying focused on the mission and moving forward, and your vigor, and we appreciate it. And I thank y'all very much for working with me on the things that I didn't understand and the things I needed to know to move forward on any vote. We appreciate y'all very much.
Moved by Mr. Benny, second by Mr. Johnny to adjourn.